Oh, hi folks, hope you're well. If you're not, get better quickly. That's an order. Um, I've always envied those people who have good night's sleep. How do you sleep when you have guests? Oh, lovely, lovely, it's lovely. Oh, it's so quiet here. And, you know, you think, good for you, good for you, you git. Because me, um, I don't know, I don't think I've ever really, I've always sort of had a problem in my own mind. I mean, I'm in a constant state of being tired now, probably since I was about 30, and I'm 57 now. And I think I sleep okay. According to my better half, I snore. Not terribly, but I apparently do. I'm wholly unaware of that, and she keeps threatening to do a tape recording of it, yet to materialise, quite frankly. But I got no reason to disbelieve her. But she says, "Oh my goodness me, you do snore. You snore so much, I have to push you over sometimes. That'll account for the bruises all over my back and the punch marks, no doubt. But hey ho." Um, but I've always woken up in the morning tired, even though, according to those around me, I slept like a baby. Anyway, I just tolerate this and go through my life doing so, and I get to a stage of around about 3:30, 4 o'clock of the day when I start to think, oh, I could just love a nap, and I am a habitual napper. I Any opportunity I get to sit on my own in the lounge, it's quiet, I turn all the crap off, and I just close my eyes. I'm away with the fairies, I really am. And in those little dream snippets, these little snatches of death, if you like, I'm aware that I dream. I am aware of these dreams, um, but I try to recall them, and I haven't a prayer. I haven't a prayer. It seems like they're slippery little suckers. The moment I start to remember or get a hint of memory, the more I try to remember, the more away they slip. And it's a problem, you know. And I've always envied those people, particularly my wife, who can recall her dreams most vividly. And I'm fascinated. I think, is she making all this up? How can you possibly have such fantastic recall of a dream? And yes, it seems that we, in our 8 hours of sleep, our brain is actually dreaming no more than two of them. This seems to be the science, from what I gather. The rest of the time, the brain is working at doing odd job repairs and replacing what's been used, because our neural network is continuously being upgraded. It's worse than the M6 and the M5 motorways in the UK, in a constant state of repair. Well, that's the body's job, I suppose, but the repairs seem to take longer and longer now, and that means less and less time for our dream state. But I've often wondered about these adults who claim that they can recall pretty much the finest detail of their dreams. I'm thinking, oh, I'm so envious. I know you shouldn't envy and this sort of thing, but I am so envious, because I just want to know what's going on, because dreams are my form of escapism, and the reason I love catnapping is it gives me escapism from the drudgery of everyday life, I suppose, in many ways, of the routine of it all. It's just me. It's just self-indulgence, the creme de la creme of self-indulgence, isn't it? To sit there and this is my time, my me time, if you like, and I'm in my head, and nobody can come and interrupt. And well, they do interrupt it, they wake you up, but nobody's allowed in except me. It's for my eyes only. But I thought, well, okay, even since I was about 30, I've never really been a great dreamer. I've been a great napper. And there's nothing more than I like on a Sunday usually, is to have Sunday lunch, which is standard. I mean, it's a good lunch, it's just standard routine. And then, now the kids have left home, my wife and I have got into this habit of having a little nap, which turns into about 2 hours, keeping it a family show, but that's true, it's just for naps. And we love it. We're both napaholics. And whether it's escapism from the drudgery of life or it's just absolutely wonderful now, because if you've got young children you're trying to bring up, one of the worst things about bringing children up, especially young children, of course, is that your time's never your own, and you would just love to be able to have a nap, but the kids are awake, they've got their friends around, there's hustle and bustle. And now, it's, one of the benefits of the kids leaving home, although it's a dreadful time initially, is that you have more spare time on your hands to be preoccupied with yourself, a bit of self-indulgence if you like. But I still struggle because my wife still, even though we have afternoon napettes, we can set our watches by the way we think sometimes, like look at each other, time for nap? Yeah, time for nap. And we disappear, the dogs go to sleep and it's all quiet on the Western Front and it's absolute heaven. The last thing you do, you turn the phone off, you unplug it at the wall, we do this sort of thing, we just close up shop. And this is our time. And there's plenty of stuff you can do with your own time, but we just nap. And it's idyllic, especially in the summer when, you can hear the birds outside. We live on the edge of the woods and we can just hear the birds and it's nature. Occasional aeroplane taking off, and that's about it, and they're quiet anyway. You get used to the aeroplanes, you don't even notice them eventually. And but I'm still very envious, as I said, of my wife getting fantastic recall. Then there's me. She goes, how did you sleep? I think I napped all right. Did you dream? I think so. I can't say for certain. Oh, if you did, what did you dream about? I simply haven't got a clue. I know I dreamed, that's about it. And if I do try to remember a little snippet that stands out, the more I try to go into depth, the more I interrogate it, the more faded it becomes. It's gone, and I think, I don't even ask it. I know I did, but I can't recall what it was about. But I do remember dreaming a little bit. But she could write a book with her dream that she had, and I'm really jealous about this. I thought, what is it that I'm doing wrong? Do I get a couple of, whiskey liqueurs down my throat and have a really good deep sleep? But unfortunately, people who are absolutely catatonic and pissed as a fart generally don't dream. They don't have proper sleep. And alcohol-induced sleep is no good for man no beast, quite frankly, because it doesn't actually rest. It literally paralyses you to the stage of being catatonic. It's not really sleep, alcohol-induced sleep. It's like drugs. And this is what Michael Jackson found to his detriment, that he used to be put to sleep by an anaesthetic called Diprovan, which is a fast-acting, looks like milk actually, a fast-acting induction agent where you can work out, usually about 15 mils of this stuff straight into the average size adult. Oh, you'll be in cloud cuckoo land, faster than you can blink. You can't even get to count to 1 to 10, you can't even get to 5. But it's heaven. You don't know, 1 minute you're there, next minute your lights are out, and then you wake up maybe after 5 hours of surgery, but you won't feel refreshed. Because anaesthetics don't make you feel refreshed, because it's not dream time, it's not brain time, it's purely the connection between your conscious and subconscious is being disconnected. There's no therapy going on while you're in a state of anaesthesia. All you are is away from the real world. And people in comas, although they claim that they can dream, who's to say they don't? Because a coma is a different matter, isn't it? But anaesthesia-wise, no, you don't dream. There's no rapid eye movement during anaesthesia. And yet, during sleep, there is rapid eye movement. You can tell by lifting up the eyelid when people are asleep. They're moving around like this, all over the shop. Anaesthesia, they're very still. In fact, all you do with anaesthesia to work out the depth of anaesthetic or anaesthesia is to lift the eyelid, shine a bright light in the pupil, and And you can also check to see if the depth of anaesthesia, because the deeper they are, the less reactive the pupils. When I say deeper, are they light or overdosed, or have you got it just right? Well, usually people who can claim that they can hear conversations during surgery are too light. They need a little bit more dosage of the anaesthetic. It's not so much the gases that keep you asleep during anaesthesia, folks. It is the inhalation agents. They come in various guises. You have a vaporizer which you can switch in percentage, half, all the way up to 5.5%, 6%. And there's different ones. There's trichloroethylene, for example, which is dry cleaning solution fluid. Trilene, they call it. It is dyed blue to distinguish it from the one you get in the dry cleaners. That's all. That's the only difference. It's still the same stuff, trichloroethylene. The other one is halothane, which is quite a nice one. Yes, that's used a lot by vets. It's very cheap nowadays, halothane. There's isoflurane, which is another derivative of a chemist. And they've all got their own side effects, but certainly isoflurane is a pretty quick induction into sleep. You just breathe in, stick the oxygen on, put the vaporizer on. About 0.5% they start to breathe it. Oh, it's a nice dizzy feeling, man, and you just keep breathing, keep going. And you're watching this bag breathe in and out, spontaneous breathing, there's no machinery. And they just gone. And then once they're asleep, you can turn the nitric oxide on, and then you can give them a muscle relaxant and then pop a tube in. You need to give the muscle relaxant to paralyze the vocal cords and to relax the intercostal muscles, so that maybe for 45 minutes or so you can use a drug called Norcuron, which is a muscle relaxant to stop your intercostal muscles resisting the ventilator, pushing air in and relaxing to allow you to breathe out. It doesn't suck the breath out, it forces the breath in, but relaxes and leaves your body's weight to express the air. But what's that got to do with it? Well, the point is, during anaesthesia, you can wake up from a 6-hour operation absolutely shattered because you haven't had any sleep, quite frankly. That's why post-operatively patients, even though they've been asleep all day, will probably sleep all night quite happily because they haven't had any sleep. So it's a strange one, is sleep. And there's sleep study centres all over the country about people who have a problem sleeping. There's one at Papworth Hospital that I know very well. I used to speak to the consultants there about sleep studies and anaesthesia, etc. And there's various ones throughout the country in the UK. It's a fascinating topic, studying sleep. But I know that I don't dream, or everybody dreams, folks. Some people just can't recall them. That's the problem. Now, what causes this inability then not to be able to recall your dreams? Well, I'm convinced it is certainly sodium fluoride. Certainly sodium fluoride. And it's all about our pineal glands. Now, our pineal gland, that is smack bang dead centre in the middle of our brain. It's between our ears and it's behind our nose about 5 inches. And it's a pea-sized thing, and we've all got one, and that's what they call the eye of Horus. If you keep seeing people doing all this on pop, it's all about the pineal gland. And it's the pineal gland that, when we're sleeping, produces a drug. And this drug is called dimethyltryptamine, among other drugs it produces, but primarily DMT, dimethyltryptamine. And this is a natural drug induction, a natural one, because the body wants you to be in a dream state. Look into my eyes, I tell you, the one eye, the pineal gland. And it is this pineal gland then that sadly is the target of the eugenics bastards out there. And they don't want us to have a fully functioning pineal gland. And that's why they fluoridate the water. Because if you use sodium fluoride on a child from birth, by the time it is 6, or the kid's been exposed to drinking water with sodium fluoride in it in the toothpaste, you know, baby's first teeth, with added fluoride in the toothpaste and mouthwash, and yes, you've guessed it, in the drinking water. That sodium fluoride has the ability to calcify this hollow little ball called the pineal gland and coat the inside of the pineal gland with crystalline fluoride, sodium fluoride. And that then frustrates the pineal gland's ability to produce dimethyltryptamine. So once you've done that, you either frustrate it or you paralyze it to stop producing adequate quantities of dimethyltryptamine, DMT, which is used in our dream state. It only happens at night. Okay? And you'll find that as you grow older then, most 6-year-olds, if you get a 7 or 8-year-old, or certainly an adult, and x-ray their head, and you look on the head x-ray, you can see a bright white, looks like a northern star in the x-ray, size of a pea. You do a head scan on an x-ray. You'll think, well, hang on, what's that? Tumour? No, it's not a tumour. It's the pineal gland. Why is it shining like a beacon? Because it's very reflective, because obviously it's calcified with the fluoride. And that pineal gland on a 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old plus Western child now has been disabled by sodium fluoride. So from that point on, it's ever likely that average Joe out there, you and I included, aren't exactly going to be top performers in the dream department. The pineal gland cannot produce enough dimethyltryptamine to get us into a dream state, or a sufficient dream state to experience the dreams. And I can categorically say that my wife was savvy enough from a very young age not to be exposed to sodium fluoride by very knowledgeable parents. Me, I was a late starter. So the damage is done on me. All I can do is mitigate any more damage that may be happening. And you can reverse the effects by changing your diet in so many ways. You can stop it getting worse by stop drinking fluoridated water, using fluoridated toothpaste. Now, I know I'm going on about fluoride, but it's very, very important you get that out of your system. If you want a prayer or a chance of a dream, and you want to get back into the dream state without partaking in the inhalation of DMT smoke, which you can do, it's called ayahuasca, in liquid form, or you can vap it in a vaporizer in a crystal form, and you can get into the, as you should have done, or being able to do in your natural states, this dream state which I experienced when I inhaled dimethyltryptamine in a smoke form, in a vapor form, from me partaking in this. And it's a Class A drug, believe it or not, dimethyltryptamine, DMT. Why would it be a Class A drug if it is naturally being produced in our pineal gland? Why have they, the government, made it illegal for me to use dimethyltryptamine in an inhalation format? Because the trip only lasts for about 3 minutes anyway, but it's 3 minutes that'll change your life. Because it's like having the best dream in your life. And it is. Because it's real. It's absolutely real. And I would lay my life on the line and say that. And I'll tell you why it's real. Because I went down into my first trip. You have 3 tokes, inhalations from this dimethyltryptamine. And you subdue the lighting, make sure the curtains are closed, it's all quiet. You've got somebody with you who's your guardian, just in case you throw a wobbler. And you get to a couple of tokes, and you can feel yourself going. You pass the little bong to your mate who's looking after you, and you sit back in the chair and you're gone. You're pulled in, literally, down a chute, tunnel, so fast. And the noise, I heard this dunk, 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 and it got a bit louder and louder, and I thought, my God, I was going down this tunnel. I had no control. I couldn't get back. I couldn't stop it. And then suddenly, bang, in front of me was the most beautiful scene. The colours were magnified, and in there were little beings. In my case, and they're different for people as well, they were like little monkeys, but they were animated like cartoon characters. They said hello, and they were really friendly. And I couldn't speak. I was gobsmacked at the beauty, the dimensions, the 3D graphics. I was looking around, it was full spatial awareness, and I was in another world. And then all of a sudden, it all went so quickly. I was stupid enough at that point to open my eyes. And my friend was sat there like this. My brother, actually. Didn't say a word. We agreed that we wouldn't speak. And I looked at my hands. And this is no word of a lie. Everything, the brightness and the colours was magnified. It was quiet in my house. Couple of candles. It was the middle of the day with curtains drawn. And I looked at my hands. I'm not kidding you. I could see my bones, my tendons, my nerves. I did that. I was doing all this and I was laughing. I was grinning at my hands. I was amazed. I could see through my hands. I even did that to see, and it was true. I could see through my hands. I had X-ray specs. And I looked around the house and the colours were 10 times better. And I was seeing colours I never knew existed in this world. Oh, wow. I just kept on saying, wow. My brother was grinning like a Cheshire cat. I just kept on saying, wow. I was looking around. And then I closed my eyes and for a minute or so, trying to get back in, I couldn't. And I just came back to this world. And that was it. That was my trip. A grand total of 3.5 minutes seemed like half an hour. 2 days later, I did that again in the same circumstance, same environment. And I said, I can't believe, I'm going to see what sort of trip I have now. And by this stage, he and I were getting low on the old dimethyltryptamine powder. So I said, I'll go first, you supervise me. We're both trained in CPR. So, okay, off I went again, and this time I didn't get the drums, I didn't get the dum 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 dum, I just got the whoosh. I was gone, but I was back again in the same, a little bit different structure, like a temple, a Greek temple. And they're my little men, they're my little monkeys again, and they were saying, we missed you. What kept you? We've been waiting for you. Which means they had a memory of me being there. That's why I knew I was in another world, another dimension. And they were expecting me back. And they were pleased to see me back. That's the most fascinating thing about dimethyltryptamine. It's a live event. And people or beings know you've been there. But the strangest thing is when I got to the gate, I looked above me and there was a most beautiful green reclining type lady, but she was blue, pale blue, and she had the most amazing headdress on. And she just looked at me, like looking me up and down, as though to see if I was good enough to carry on and play. But I could tell she was a person of authority, because others were giving her respect in it. And then I turned away, and then I saw in front of me my friends I saw the other day. And they were saying, where have you been? We've missed you. And that's convinced me that there is another world that I shall go to when I depart this scene. Well, that's the ability of dimethyltryptamine in our brain. We should be doing this at night time, and the children can do it. Children have such wonderful dreams of full imagination and colour. Some of them have nightmares. Not all DMT trips are happy. Sometimes people of poor character get a right bollocking when they go in. They don't want you, you won't get past the gate, get out of here. They have bad trips. But for good people who have no bad history, with no bad blood in them, or no bad thoughts, because there are evil bastards who try dimethyltryptamine and they get taught a lesson. And it's the same with psilocybins and mushrooms. But I just don't like eating plants. Certainly I wouldn't do magic mushrooms, because I don't know what I'm talking about with magic mushrooms. But dimethyltryptamine, well, nobody has actually died doing dimethyltryptamine, DMT. But why make it a Class A drug? Why make it illegal? Because the bastards don't want you knowing what's awaiting us, which is absolute heaven for most of us. And I think those who deserve it will go up to absolute hell. But I try to sort of say to my wife, how is it you get into the dream? She says, I don't know, 1 minute I'm awake, the next minute I'm gone, and then I start to dream. And I'm so envious. But I thought there's got to be something she's doing that I'm not. And I know what it is now. And it just dawned on me. She's done it for a few years, and she's done it practically since we had children. And it seems unsafe if both of you do it, but if one of you does it, that's fine, and that means using earplugs. And it never occurred to me that she lies totally undisturbed in her sleep. And I often see it every night. She shoves these things in. Good night, darling. Kiss on the cheek, whatever. Good night. And she bungs them in and she settles down and she's away with the fairies. I think, I'm so envious. I get there and I'm farting about, turning over. I can hear her, tutting because I bash into her, trying to turn her around and getting comfy. And it takes me ages to shut my inner chatter up. And then I hear things in the garden, or somebody in the garden, or what was that banging? And we're in a detached house, we don't have neighbours, bash, 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 and things, so it must be the dogs. And then eventually I do fall asleep out of sheer exhaustion. It's like my body can't take it anymore. I had enough now, pull the plug, shut him up. Because it takes me a long time to shut the chatter up in my head. Half the time it's like saying don't think of paint. And then all you can think about is thinking about the paint. Don't think of elephants. What do you do? Think of elephants. And I just try to shut my head up and say, just go to sleep. Come on, just go to sleep now. Go to sleep. I have to talk myself to sleep. I can't bloody read before I go to sleep because I end up reading a page and forgetting what I've read because I'm tired. I have to go back and read the same page again. I think, have I read this? Well, I must have done. Just turned the page and I've gone back, I've read it again. I think I can't remember reading this and it's time to shut the book. But now, in the last few days, I've discovered a little secret. It's only taken me 31 years to learn. The reason my wife dreams better than me is that she has, since that time, used earplugs. But not any type of earplugs. These are the squeegee, malleable ones. See, that's gone flat. It's like a gel. It's a silicone gel type one. Can you see that? Okay, and you can mould them because we've all got different shapes to our ear holes. So what I do is I just squeegee it in my hands nice and warm. And I shove it in my lug hole. And I shove. And they stay in beautifully. I can't hear anything around me now. But I can hear inside my head myself while talking in myself. But I can't hear anything outside. They are that good. Well, for the last week, I've been trying them out. This isn't a product endorsement recommendation. This is just why I can't dream properly. And this is the reason why, because I've been listening to things while I've been asleep. My body's still on alert. And the only way that info can get in is through my ears. It keeps me awake because I'm a light sleeper. But now I can sleep deep. I can get into the rapid eye movement stage, the REM now, because I can mould these nice and warm. I can get into the shape so it goes down my ear canal like that. and I can stick them in knowing full well when I pull them out they will come out in one piece. So check before you take nothing left in there. And they're 2 a penny. But I tell you, in the last week I've been trying these. Bloody marvellous. I am dreaming. I'm recalling dreams again for the first time in a long time. And they're amazing. So if you're having problems sleeping and you can't dream, even if you sleep like a baby and you can't recall your dreams, yes, it may be the sodium fluoride that's calcified your pineal gland. But if you stop having sodium fluoride and filter your drinking water and only drink bottled water, and you don't use sodium fluoride in your toothpaste, you'll soon dilute it. Your body will clean your pineal gland naturally. And you'll start to get your dimethyltryptamine in good doses. But you need to be in the dream state. You need to do all the help you can and meet the pineal gland halfway. And I recommend you use earplugs. Now, it's dangerous if both of you and your partner, use earplugs, because you won't hear fire, fire, fire. Will you? Or you won't hear the baby crying or whatever. It depends on your domestic situation. Both of you lying in bed with these could end up being burnt to death in bed if you're not careful. So make sure. Maybe you can alternate. It's very dangerous if both of you sat there dumb to the world. But I don't think it hurts to take the occasional risk in life. So I recommend these. Look, it's not a product recommendation. I'm not into selling anything. This is just what's helped me now get to my dreams back. And I wish I'd discovered this 30 years ago, because I've never used earplugs. I've never had a difficulty getting to sleep. The difficulty I had is recalling my dreams. And then I was faced with the thing is how I obviously do sleep, but I don't recall my dreams. Because you don't have a dream. If you're continually a light sleeper and you get interrupted, you hear a noise outside or ambient noise, you won't get into, because it's your body's natural defence is to, hello, what's that? You know, one eye opens, look around. No, you're always a light sleeper, you see. But you can sleep like a baby. And that's what I've been doing lately. And I wish I'd found this out 30 years ago. Let me know how you get on. Who needs anaesthetics? Who needs dimethyltryptamine? Now I've got it naturally occurring, and now I can induce it by shutting the garage doors at night, yes, these garage doors, and getting into my dreams to play with my little buddies, who again are pleased to see me. Catch you tomorrow, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video. Get yourself some earplugs. You'll be dead to the world. Well, metaphorically. Love you all. Take care. Catch you tomorrow.